Hello everybody and welcome into the Chrysler Center here in downtown Ann Arbor for WCBN sports coverage of Michigan men's basketball. And as the calendar year flips to 2026, we thank you for joining in as always to all sports here on campus, WCBN Sports. Thanks, you're listening and all the listeners now. And we've got a great matchup for you guys today as Big Ten conference play is under full display. The number 2 Wolverines host the USC Trojans, coming in ranked number 24 in the country. Both teams off to fantastic starts to their young 2025-2026 campaigns. And welcome into the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Josh Samuelsen, joined alongside my partner, Vihaan Easwar. And Vihaan, the Wolverines have had not many tests since they took care of business in the Players Era Festival Championship and took that home during Feast Week during Thanksgiving. Now the Trojans coming in ranked in the top 25, the first time the Wolverines had to face such a team in over a month.
Absolutely. I think we discussed this pregame. The last time Michigan faced any kind of meaningful test was an unranked but still repeatable Maryland team. This is the first ranked opponent the Wolverines have faced in quite some time. And I think that Maryland game got a little bit dicey at points. I think a big part of it is going to be spacing for the Wolverines. The Wolverines like to really open up the court with their passing and move. They've been so ball dominant so far, but can work against them on a team that's capable of forcing the ball out of their hands and forcing some turnovers, especially in that Maryland game. A big difference maker there for a while was Maryland's ability to make threes and hang with the Wolverines. So I think it's going to be big on Michigan to just kind of be mindful of spacing both on offense and defense, kind of close down as many passing and shooting as possible, and just don't allow their opponents, the Trojans, too many chances to shoot from the free throw line.
Yeah, you make a great point there. The Trojans, a very great offensive team themselves, number 2 in scoring in the Big Ten, just below the Wolverines. The Trojans top 5 in the NCAA and getting to the free throw line and making free throws today. They haven't faced many teams that can score with them. The Trojans could be that today.
Absolutely, yes. And this Michigan team, This Michigan team obviously has raised, the expectations are sky high, but they're sky high for a very good reason. It doesn't seem like this Michigan team at the moment is going to lose a basketball game again. And just as I say that, I know announcers jinx is a very real thing, but this is a team that is beating opponents by 40 points per game every single week. Like I mentioned, you've got passers who can just flip the length of the court. At his switch, you can make any type of shot. You've got 7-footers who move like guards, much like that Bill of last year's team did, but arguably even up. At the moment, the question in the minds of the country is, who exactly is going to stop Michigan? And Michigan wants to say, well, not USC.
For sure, and both of these teams built in the transfer portal. Dusty May obviously got 3 big transfers in the front court in Adai Mara, Merez Johnson Jr. and Yaxel Lendabord. However, the USC did that as well. Eric Musselman, the second year in the country, top 25 in winning percentage himself. And he built this team all through the transfer portal. 10 of their 13 players are from there, and led by Chad Baker-Mazara, the 5th year last year, who took care of business against the Wolverines in the NCAA tournament and led them to the Final Four. The Wolverines are going to have to stop him today if they want a chance to win this game.
As you said, Baker-Mazara, almost a ghost, haunting the Wolverines, reminding them of what they couldn't accomplish them last season, but providing a source of motivation for them to get over the hump this season. That is worth noting that this Trojan team has been plagued by injury this season early on, losing guard Elijah Arenas preseason, son of former NBA star Gilbert Arenas, preseason 2 in the injury, losing star point guard Rodney Rice, second highest scorer on the team, 2 injured this season, but have still bunkered down and have just been a consistent offensive machine against maybe not the strongest strength of schedule, but certainly putting the medal and being able to hang with Oregon in conference play.
Yeah, and we're about to begin here. The Trojans in all black and the Wolverines in all white. A sellout crowd at the Chrysler Center, all standing on their feet. Gabe Dines and Adai Mar will take the tip. Gabe Dines, 7'5", one of the tallest in Division I there to match it up. And the Wolverines collect the tip. It's Elliot Cadeau bringing it up for the Wolverines. Ryan Cornish will put the screen from Mara. Kick out to Lendabord in the corner for 3. Off the mark, no good. Mara the offensive rebound, and he puts it up and in. The Wolverines on the scoreboard first.
Yeah, when you have when you have Lendeborg, when you have Mraz Johnson, when you have Mara, when you have so much height on the team, you basically expect any rebound to be automatic.
Exactly. And here's Cornish. He'll bring it up for the Trojans. Lost it, and Mara took it away. Cadeau will look to push. The Wolverines have numbers. Cadeau, bounce pass, nice pass to Burnett. Kick out, Lendeborg, right wing three. Off the mark, no good. And Kofi will grab the board for the Trojans. Baker Mazzara, the grad student with the basketball. Double team, knocked away by Mara. Ahead to Lendeborg, two-man to beat, and he slams it home.
Well, you're going to see a lot of fast breaks in this Michigan team. Like I mentioned, despite their size, they move like a team of, a team made up almost entirely of guards. And Lendeborg with that burst, with that backcourt, that was an example of what you can see there. As
Baker Mazzara downloaded Dines, it's knocked away by Burnett. And the Wolverines look to slow. Johnson Jr. nearly taken away by Baker Mazzara, but out of bounds. The Wolverines will retain possession. Jordan Marsh will check in now for Ryan Cornish. Marsh, the best three-point shooter on the Trojans this season, shooting 52% from beyond the arc. And Lendeborg will pass it in to Mara, who will look to give to Cadeau on the right wing. He'll give more drives, lowers that shoulder. Dines, 7'5", shuts him off nicely. The Trojans.
Yeah, last season that was pretty much the hallmark. The one factor on the Wolverines team holding them back was that propensity to turn the ball over, to be a little careless. This season,
yeah, they have, as Baker Mazzara left wide open from the right wing and doesn't hit the three, and a loose ball foul on Gabe Dines. It'll head the Wolverines' direction. And I was saying earlier, just with it back to Baker Mazzara, guarded tightly by on the right wing. No call there. Ezra Assar a little too handsy with Cadeau out to Kofi for three. No good, and Mara, the easy rebound. Out to Lendeborg, guarded lead by Ezra Assar. Lendered up, a technical foul on the USC coach. He did not like that call. Baker Mazzara on the ground on that layup. And the Wolverines will take a technical free throw here. Eric Musselman still fired up over there.
Yeah, and I think a lot has been made of this Michigan team's physical advantage, but I do think that's another way where I think that helps. Just being bigger, being able to draw more contact, you're naturally going to need more pairs of hands on you, take the ball off you, and I think that just naturally invites more foul calls. Just another way in which Mays, this construct this team around physicality is paying off.
Yeah, definitely the Wolverines. So Lendeborg will take the technical free throw and miss it short. The Wolverines will keep possession. Or excuse me, there's one more technical free throw. Eric Musselman fired up over there. As Lendeborg, his second technical free throw is up and good. 7-0 Wolverines with 16 minutes and 17 seconds to go here in the first half. As Roddy Gale Jr. checks in for Adai Mara. And Terrence Williams, the former Wolverine, checks in for Gabe Dines for the Trojans. As Cadeau will bring it up, guarded closely by Jordan Marsh. The Trojans mixing in some full court pressure. As Burnett almost loses the ball. Up by the logo, Baker Mazzara pressed up closely. Johnson Jr. with it now, trapped nicely by Kofi, gives it out to Lendeborg. Lendeborg to Cadeau at the top of the key. 7 on the shot clock. Cadeau, a deep three is no good. And a nice rebound by Terrence Williams, and gives it up to Assar. Numbers for the Trojans. Assar, a Euro step, and an offensive foul. Elliot Cadeau steps in there and takes the charge, and the Wolverines, what a start.
Yeah, and when Elliot Cadeau was brought in this offseason from North Carolina, a lot of comparisons were made to Trey Donaldson, who was intended to be the natural replacement of. And Cadeau was brought in for his passing, and that is something that's really helped of the Wolverines when he's on the court. But he's also averaging 9.8 parts per game, just slightly above his old average. So maybe he's not one of the top scorers on the team, but he can chip in as part of scoring runs when he needs to.
Yeah, you make a great point. The biggest thing for Cadeau has been the increased production shooting the basketball from long range and generally from the field goals. His percentages from the free throw line, from three-point range, and just from the field in general have all increased from his time at North Carolina. And Cadeau has been a great option, as well as shooting the ball just a lot better, as well as being a great distributor for this Wolverines team.
Yeah, his percentages are at 46.1% on field goals, 28% from the three, and 60.9% from the free throw line. So, you know, there's a marked improvement there, and it should even when, you know, even when he's not playing as many minutes on the team, even when he's not necessarily taking those looks to score as often as Lendebourg or Mara or the other scorers on the team are, he's being efficient making both his opportunities. Yeah,
and just in this first 4 minutes, if we look at the box score, the Wolverines with 9 shot attempts, the Trojans only with 3. USC has been absolutely stifled so far. The Wolverines, great defense, have not let the Trojans penetrate or get into the paint at all, and that's where the Trojans score most of their points, is driving into the rack, playing old school basketball like Eric Musselman does, and getting to the free throw line, and the Wolverines have not let that happen at all to begin.
Exactly, and I think a big part of Michigan's defensive strategy has mostly just been, you know, movement, just getting those fast breaks in order, just kind of playing good transition defense. The Wolverines will usually stack their own arc and just keep, you know, 4 or 5 guys there, at which point you just got the ability to play physical defense, because you'll see them go in and reach for those steals. I think it's a blend of good spacing and transition defense, as well as just the ability to go and put their hands out rather than waiting for just a shot or something to fall your way.
Yes, we're out of the first 4-minute timeout. Eric Musselman, if you guys are just joining in, got a technical foul just to begin the game in the first 4 minutes. Really fired up about a no call. And the Wolverines absolutely dominant in these first 4 minutes against a pretty high-octane Trojan offense. As the Wolverines with the basketball, it's Roddy Gale inbounding. And LJ Kaysen checks in for the Wolverines as well. It's Lendebourg, Gale Jr., Elliot Cadeau, Merez Johnson Jr., and LJ Kaysen on the floor for the Wolverines. It's Lendebourg with it. He'll give it to Cadeau on the block M. Cadeau, the screen from Johnson Jr., who will look to give to Gale Jr. Gale Jr. out down low to Merez Johnson. And he's fouled down low before the shot. Great positioning down low for the Illinois transfer.
Yeah, Merez Johnson Jr. already having taken over as the second highest scorer on the team, averaging 30.6 points per game, shooting 60.3, 33.3, and 81.3 straight percentages. Also chipping in on defense with 6.8 rebounds per game.
He's been awesome for the Wolverines. Lendebourg here on the left wing. With 9 on the shot clock, he'll pull it. And way off from 3. The offensive rebound, though, by Roddy Gale Jr. Merez Johnson Jr. down low now. And it's knocked away by Ezra Assar. Good defense. 14 on the shot clock now. Trojans, Jacob Kofi, will head to the bench. Elliot Cadeau inbounding here for the Wolverines. And an offensive foul, a moving screen on Roddy Gale Jr. And another turnover for the Wolverines. As the Trojans will bring it up now, it's Jordan Marsh. Marsh gives it to Bronell, back to Marsh. Marsh, the sharpshooter, will get inside. Nice move, tough layup is no good. Good defense from LJ Kaysen. Wolverines have numbers, it's 5-on-4. Kaysen looks, penetrates inside, looking, and its ball's knocked away by Jordan Marsh. And off of Elliot Cadeau, the Trojans will take the ball. LJ Kaysen looked confused. The Wolverines had none of this decision, threw it out of bounds. And the Trojans with the ball now. Both teams really struggling with turnovers early. We got 9 combined in the first 5 minutes of play. And Jordan Marsh with it as well. The Trojans have yet to score, and we're 5 minutes through this ball game. Bronell will drive, and ball knocked away. Terrence Williams ends up with it. He'll miss it. Brownell, the offensive rebound. Lendebourg guards him tightly. Back out to Baker Mazzara. Mazzara pressed up nicely by the Wolverines. Great team defense. Baker Mazara with 10 on the clock. Mazara drives left, tough move inside, blocked by Lendeborg. Here come the Wolverines in transition. LJ Kaysen gets inside, tough layup. A kick out to McKinney, out to Gale, who pump fakes, drives inside, and he's fouled on the drive attempt, a blocking foul on Terrence Williams.
Right, and even though it only seemed drawing a foul, just I want to think of the Wolverines, just quick ball movement, just quickly finding a pass, picking it apart. This Wolverines team, Alazwood said how they're playing like an NBA team, and I think a big part of that is just the quickness with which they get their passes across, which they can find an open look.
Yeah, they do play like an NBA team just based on this team defense as Kaysen struggles to get it in. He finally does to Adai Mara, and he's fouled by Jaden Brownell. Already the 6th team foul for the Trojans, as the Wolverines will retain possession with 22 on the shot clock. LJ Kaysen inside, ball knocked out of bounds by Jordan Marsh. Trey McKinney checked in just a second ago, the freshman from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. As Kaysen will give to McKinney, he'll pull from the corner and off the rim, no good. Lendeborg, nice strong rebound, and he'll put it back up and in. Yaxel Lendeborg gives the Wolverines a 9-0 advantage here in the first 5 minutes of the first half.
Lendeborg, one of the better rebounders on this team, in addition to being top scorer, averaging 7.2, leading the team in rebounds.
As that ball's knocked away by Roddy Gale.
Lendeborg was a big part of why the Wolverines had such lofty preseason expectations, despite the losses of Vladislav Goldman and Danny Wolf in the portal. Projected National Player of the Year contender, and relatively early in the season is living up to those lofty expectations, emerging as one of the early favorites for the award.
Yeah, he's played very well. Also a projected lottery pick so far, as USC with it now. It's Baker Mazar, passes inside to Asar, and the ball's knocked away off the Wolverines. Dusty May doesn't like the call. The Trojans have the possession with 9 on the shot clock. As Cam Woods checked in for the Trojans, Baker Mazar goes to the bench. As Will Shetter will check in with a large applause. Lendeborg to the bench. As Jerry Easter with the out of bounds. Easter needs to get it in, and he calls a timeout to avoid the 5-second violation. Great defense from the Wolverines, and it's 9-0 with 13:43 to go here in the first half. Vihaan, what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, I just want to note on that play where Easter failed to get it in down in time, I really like the box out by Mara, just kind of using the entirety of the space, putting up both arms, just kind of really shutting off both lanes for Easter to go, to make sure that there's really nowhere he could have done that ball. I think so far, obviously the Wolverines turning the ball over a little bit more than you would want to, but I think, it really is Michigan just kind of living up to the reputation he's built so far. They're playing great team defense. They're moving the ball quickly. They're making advantage of their size inside both areas. They are getting it, and the Trojans are just kind of box out of opponents. I think so far we're seeing a lot of the same basketball fundamentals that have driven the Wolverines this hot start. They really haven't made too many egregious errors so far, apart from a few turnovers.
Yeah, 9 points and 9 turnovers combined for both teams. As Cam Woods will dribble it up here for the Trojans. Woods, a tough three, no good, an air ball trying to get it. As Mara, a baseball pass to Gale inside, and he's fouled on the tough layup attempt. A nice pass from Mara, the outlet pass. Looked like Tom Brady there. As this Wolverines defense has still not given up a point yet. The Trojans have had no success at getting any type of good look. As Roddy Gale will go to the line to shoot 2. He'll knock it down for the first. Roddy Gale, 80% from the line. A veteran presence for this Wolverines team. And a clutch Gene. Had a big March Madness last season where he had 26 in a win against Texas A&M, as they'll knock down the second free throw. 11-0 Wolverines, 13:30 to go. A nice full court pressure here as Terrence Williams will get it in. Baker Mazzara will bring it up. He's trapped by Shetter and Gale, as Williams will get into Easwar. He'll jump stop inside and score it, plus the contact, and will go to the line for a chance to complete a three-point play. The Trojans finally on the board.
Yeah, and that full court pass from Ademara that set up the fouls. Michigan loved that last season, especially Danny Wolf, dearly departed Wolverine.
Yeah, as Ezra Easwar, their second leading scorer, the transfer from Utah, will complete the three-point play. 11-3 Wolverines. And the Trojans with a little bit of pressure as well. LJ Kaysen and Trey McKinney will play a little two-man game to get it up. Kaysen handles it, guarded closely by Baker Mazzara. As the Wolverines doing a little bit of nothing right now. 10 on the shot clock, have barely passed the ball. Shetter in the corner. Shetter drives inside, nice move, a floater will go. Will Shetter with a crafty move to get inside and finish for two.
Yeah, Will Shetter's been a player who's been, become a fan favorite, functions as an effective sixth man in his time at Michigan,
As Baker Mazzara, count it and one, a chance for a four-point play. A tough step back, and that's what Mazzara is known for, tough shot making off the dribble. As the Trojans finally hit a three-point field goal. They were 0 for their first 4. And Mazzara, one of the best scorers in the country, averaging 21 a game and shooting almost 90% from the stripe. They'll complete the four-point play. It's 13-7 Wolverines with 12:39 and counting to go here in the first half. As he crosses half court. Kaysen, no pressure now. Nice find down low to Gale with a two-handed flush. The Wolverines navigate the Trojan zone very nicely. 15-7 Wolverines. Baker Mazzara now handling the basketball. Roddy Gale guards him tightly. Mazzara, tough step back three. Got another. Baker Mazzara with Roddy Gale all in his face knocks down another three-pointer. As Kaysen the other way for the Wolverines. Kaysen navigates the screens nicely. Ball knocked away by Cam Woods. Trojans the other way. Woods to Bronell in the corner for three. Is short. Woods, offensive rebound. Back out to Mazzara. Mazzara gets the screen, pulls another three, and is short. Shetter grabs the rebound for the Wolverines. Shetter to McKinney on the right wing. Back out to Mara. The big man doesn't shoot many threes. Pump fake there. Roddy Gale tripped up by his own teammate, Mara. Dines gets inside. Back out to McKinney in the corner for three. No good, and Terrence Williams grabs the board, and the Trojans look to push. It's Cam Woods on the left wing now, guarded by Kaysen. We'll give it to Dines. Back to Woods. To Bronell in the corner, the pump fake. Gets Shetter in the air, no good. Out to Mazzara on the right wing. Down low to Gabe Dines, guarded closely by Mara. Back out Mazzara, a deep three. Rattles in and out. And the Wolverines held their breath there as Mazzara keeps shooting. Here's McKinney. Nice pass down low, but knocked away by Bronell. Good defense by the 6'10 Trojan big man. And Mazzara in. And we will have a media timeout with 10:47 to go. The Trojans get right back in this game. It's 15-10.
Yeah, I think the last few minutes from the Wolverines kind of looked a lot like what you saw in that Maryland game, where, Michigan was probably, all around fundamentally still a better basketball team on the day against the Terps, but let their opponent back in due to, not cramping up at the three-point line. Now, Michigan won that game and pulled away in the second half due to Dusty making those adjustments, which is something that he's been great at so far in his time with the Wolverines.
Yeah, and the biggest kryptonite, like you were saying, is the turnovers. And if the Wolverines are turning the ball over like this, it's going to allow for teams to creep back in it. And we saw against the Trojans 5 turnovers already, and the Wolverines kind of struggling offensively to quick team that likes to get out and move in transition.
And I guess the announcers jinxed the fact because I mentioned that the Wolverines, only for us to see, we definitely saw some of the Wolverines become Stage 4 giveaways in the second half of the Villanova game a few weeks ago, a game which Michigan had already won pretty comfortably at halftime. But it's a bad habit that we saw last season. Big part of the reason why the Wolverines effectively dealt away with the hefty lead that they had at halftime against the Auburn Tigers in last year's Sweet 16 game. And we're seeing it again here today in a rare display of, just lack of cohesion, uncohesiveness that we haven't really seen much of this season so far.
Yeah. When you look at the box score already, Lendeborg, the leading scorer, only 5 points. And on the USC side, Chad Baker-Mazara with 7. And shooting some incredible shots, Vihaan. I mean, these are off balance, looking like Steph Curry out there.
Yeah, some of these step back threes, you say, lightning strike twice, or lightning strikes again, just a few quick seconds later. And I think that's another example of where, I mentioned spacing is key for Michigan. When they set the game state, when they try and open up with those half-court, full-court passes that just get a lot of room, open on the court. And now you're leaving your opponent to play in those same pockets and to try and make shots in those same pockets. So I think Michigan's definitely going to want to work on their spacing a little bit. We've seen a little bit of a full-court press, but I think I expect to see it a little bit more aggressively as the leads become down to have, just kind of take away that element of having that extra second for Baker-Mazara to step back and take that three-pointer attempt.
Yeah, that's a great point. As we resume play here with 10:46 to go, it's Cam Woods bringing up the basketball for the Trojans. He'll give it to Bronell on the top of the key. Bronell hands it back off to Woods. Woods to Dines, guarded closely by Merez Johnson Jr. And the Wolverines stifling defense so far, switching almost everything with such athletic bigs on the floor. Dines on the perimeter with 0 on the shot clock, no good. And the ball gets stuck on the rim. Wolverines will not keep possession. It'll be the Trojans' ball. As with 1 second left, Cam Woods chucks up a 3. It gets stuck, and possession arrow favors the Trojans. So the Trojans with a fresh 20 get bailed out there.
Just frankly kind of bizarre play, just the image of the ball being stuck in the net.
Exactly. As Mazara will take it out of bounds, and Bronell will give it back to him. Guarded closely by Merez Johnson Jr. Takes him off the dribble, gets inside. Tough floater is short. Ball scattered on the floor. People diving on it. The Wolverines and Trojans will say it's a jump ball. It was Cadeau and Jordan Marsh diving on the floor. And the Wolverines will take possession. Trojans only 3 field goals here in the first 10 minutes. Like I said, the second best scoring offense in the Big Ten. Wolverines just show how great their defense is. As Lendeborg back will get a screen from Johnson Jr. Hold his dribble, give it to Shetter. Wide open at the top of the key. No good. Dines, the 7-5 frame, grabs the board.
Yeah, Johnson tried to reach for that rebound, but didn't quite bounce the way that he wanted to.
And an offensive foul gave Dines a moving screen. The Trojans' 8th team foul, and the Wolverines in the bonus. As Cadeau will bring it up for the Wolverines. Cadeau to Burnett. And they're passing around to Lendeborg. Lendeborg on the left wing, guarded by Easwar. He wants the screen from Johnson Jr. He gets it. He pulls up from 3 and knocks it down. Some string music from Lendeborg. 18-10 lead Wolverines, less than 10 to go here in the first half. Ezra Easwar, top of the key, looking for Baker-Mazara. He does. Mazara stops his dribble early, gives it to Easwar on the low post. The size advantage. Lowers his shoulder, gets inside, a nice float shot is good. Ezra Easwar, 6'9", 250, and used all that strength to finish over Cadeau. Cadeau pulls a deep 3 and knocks it down. Back-to-back threes for the Wolverines, and they lead by 9.
Yeah, after these first 10 minutes, the Wolverines were a little reticent to sort of shoot from 3. but now we're seeing just a lot more aggression on that end.
Yeah, and a push from Namari Burnett, a foul on the Wolverines guard. 14 foul on the Wolverines. The Trojans will take it out of bounds near the Michigan bench. As Adai checks back in for Will Shetter. Shetter some good minutes already, 2 points, a board in 5 minutes of play. Cam Woods will bring it in. Woods blocked off nicely by Mara. He's looking, gives it to Dines, who turns his back. Mara, one of the bigger players he'll have to face, as Woods puts his shoulder down. Tough floater is short. Wolverines battling from the offensive glass. Easwar ends up with it, and he's fouled. Wolverines had 3 bodies there, and no one came down with the basketball. Easwar will shoot 2. He's a 66% free throw shooter. As Roddy Gale Jr. will look to check back in for the Wolverines. Easwar in and out on the first. Gale will check in for Adai Mara. Jerry Easter and Terrence Williams check in for the Trojans. As Easwar, a transfer from Utah, has almost doubled his scoring production here in a Trojan uniform. 5 points tonight, and will knock down the second free throw for his 6th. 21-13, 8:31 to go. As the Trojans playing with the Wolverines so far, the spread coming into the game was 22.5. So the Trojans doing their job so far. As Cadeau gets a screen from Johnson Jr., kicks out to Burnett in the corner. He'll drive, pushed by Mazzara, who will give it back out to Lendeborg. Lendeborg on the left wing. Gets Dines swung low to Johnson Jr. He'll post up Easwar, jump stop, nice shoulder turn and finish. Perez Johnson Jr.'s got 4 points now. As Easwar the other way, a pull-up mid-range off the mark, but no one blocks out Jerry Easter, and he'll finish for an easy layup. No boxing out there for the Wolverines, 23-15 now. As Cadeau will penetrate, get inside the lane. Kick back out to Burnett, who'll jab and a travel. As we go to the under 8 timeout here in the Chrysler Center, the Trojans playing with the Wolverines, Vihaan, 23-15.
Yeah, I think just seeing that travel called will just kind of summed up in a lot of ways what the issue was for the Wolverines in terms of turnovers. To really take things away from basketball here, we've got a little bit of a surprise here as Michigan Wolverines, the 22nd head coach of the Michigan football team, Utah's Kyle Whittingham, is on the court here at Chrysler Center. Yeah,
this is awesome to be a part of. Kyle Whittingham, newly introduced as the Michigan head coach last week, traveled with the team to their bowl game, the Citrus Bowl, 2 days ago on New Year's Eve. And a well-spoken guy, and here he is on the floor. A big applause.
Well, first of all, how about Coach Dusty May and this Michigan Wolverine basketball team? And the team done a great job coaching me as now. It's an honor to be the 22nd head football coach at the University of Michigan. Blessed to be here. Can't wait to get started. First order of business was to assemble a great assistant coaching staff. We're here. We have 1 or 2 more to add, but otherwise, this is the group that will be coaching the young men this spring, this fall. I can say for sure that we're going to be a physical football team. Yes, I coach you. It's going to be an exciting offense. Coach Beck has done a great job. Everyone he's done. Coach Jay Hill, our defensive coordinator. I'll tell you right now, Saturday we used to go 1-0. That's our goal here in Michigan. One thing you got to say, right? Go Blue!
as Coach Whittingham ends his introduction to the student body and alumni body of the university with the words that every Michigan fan, every Michigan alum wants to hear, an emphatic, a resounding go blow.
Crowd at the Chrysler Center, all standing on their feet. Kyle Whittingham, a well-spoken guy, 21 years at Utah, and he said there was only about 5 jobs he would consider to come back coaching, and Michigan was one of those. And he's excited to come coach that football team. As we redirect against the USC Trojans, 23-15 with 7:42 to go. In the first half, the Trojans playing with the number 2 team in the country here. Jerry Easter knocked away by Cadeau. Cadeau dives on the floor, and they call a foul on Cadeau, diving for the loose ball, and trips Ezra Asar in the process.
Yeah, and Cadeau just kind of unfortunate contact there on the legs. Kind of bit of a collision there. Was reaching for the basket, reaching for the ball, dives a little bit too low and accidentally ends up causing a collision. This can result in a foul for Michigan.
Mazar will inbound to Jerry Easter. Easter, the freshman guard, known for his slashing play style here. As Asar at the top of the key, guarded by Lendeborg, gives him space, not known for being a three-point shooter. Lendeborg switches on Baker Mazar, who dribbles, kicks out to Dines in the short corner. Dines back out to Mazara, gets the screen, and ball knocked out of bounds off of Namari Burnett. Trojans will keep possession with 9 on the shot clock. Good team defense there from the Wolverines. They're really switching everything right now, as all their bigs are quick and can guard the perimeter players. As Asar turns his shoulder, guarded closely by Lendeborg, drives inside, spins, uses his body, blocked by Lendeborg. Great defense.
Yeah, Lendeborg just put one hand up for the steal. Just simple, perfectly executed.
As Lendeborg goes down low to Merez Johnson Jr., he looks to post up Dines, lowers his shoulder, gets inside, pump fakes, and puts it through. Dines has about 7 inches on Merez Johnson, but Johnson has about 30 more pounds. He uses that shoulder and gives the Wolverines a 10-point advantage. Ball knocked away by Roddy Gale Jr., however, he fouled Baker Mazara in the process. As Baker Mazara head on the floor, the Trojans in the bonus, so Mazara will head to the line. As Roddy Gale Jr. personal foul. As Baker Mazara is still on the floor, finally gets helped up by his teammates. And will head to the stripe to shoot. As Trey McKinney will check in for Gale Jr. 1-1 here for Baker Mazara. He's already 1 for 1 tonight. Free throw up and good. Brownell will check in for Dines. Going with a much smaller lineup now are the Trojans. Jordan Marsh and Jerry Easter round up the guards. As Mazara, 8 points tonight, 2 for 5 from three-point range. That's where he does most of his damage. Leads this Trojans teams in three-point field goals, and he rattles home his second free throw. 25-17 now, 6:36 to go in the first half.
Trojans consistently hanging between 5 to 8 points of the Wolverines. As you said, the spread was much less favorable to USC.
Yeah, they're hanging around. As McKinney swings to Lendeborg on the right wing, he'll go down low and fouled by Brownell. Merez Johnson Jr. got great position down low, caused Brownell to foul. And the 9th team foul already for the Trojans. Merez Johnson Jr. to the line to add on to his point total. He already has 6 tonight, 3 for 3 from the field. And 1-1 here for Johnson Jr. Both first half. Johnson Jr. 2 dribbles and short on the free throw. Terrence Williams grabs the rebound and gives it to Marsh to push for the Trojans. Marsh gets his head down, looks to push downhill. Nice pass, ball knocked away by Lendeborg. He had Jerry Easter cutting. However, Lendeborg, good instincts there.
Stick up hand up to it, just kind of used the entirety of his frame to position himself right in front of Easter and block that pass.
Yeah, great defense there by the graduate student. As Easter, step back mid-range, no good. Johnson Jr. grabs his first board of the ball game. As Lendeborg has it now on the left wing. Down low to Merez Johnson Jr. again. Wolverines have been a big part of their game plan tonight as Lendeborg in rhythm, top of the key. Off the back iron, no good. Cadeau, nice offensive rebound. Will swing back, Burnett to McKinney in the corner. He pump fakes, gets some space, gathers, shoots. No good. Another offensive rebound for the Wolverines. And Lendeborg chucks it out of bounds, a turnover. And the Trojans will take the ball.
Yeah, and that's turnover reminiscent of some of the ones just trying to reach across the court for a pass that just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, sixth turnover there for the Wolverines. Uncharacteristic from Lendeborg there. As Bronell with it now. His back to the basket. Still hasn't gotten rid of it. Finally does to Easter. Good positioning down low. Fends off Burnett and finishes for two. Jerry Easter, a crafty finish. And the Trojans within 6 with 5:09 to go. Cadeau with it now. Nice pass to Johnson Jr. who's fouled. Count it. And one. Johnson Jr.'s been feasting down low early against the Trojans. A chance for a three-point play now. As LJ Kaysen checks in now for the Wolverines for Namari Burnett. He'll go to the bench to take a seat. Johnson Jr. will head to the line. An 81% free throw shooter. This is down low. The free throw up and good. As the Trojans bring it up here down by 9. Jordan Marsh looks to push. He'll put on the brakes. Get inside, kick back out to Mazzara. Mazzara down low to Easwar for a two-handed flush. A strong finish from the Trojan big man. Nice find down low from Baker Mazzara. It's 28-21.
Merez Johnson Jr. now taking the lead on the team in points of the night, 9 out of the Axel Lendeborg 8.
And yeah, Merez Johnson Jr. fouled there in the process. Like he said, a focal point of this offense, especially tonight. It's been on full display. An absolute beast down low, especially with the Daimar not being on the floor for the Wolverines for much of the night with those 2 personal fouls. As Johnson to the line for 2. As he knocks down that first, Merez Johnson Jr. has been so efficient around the rim this season, 66% from the field. Has just improved his production at Illinois last season and now having a full starting time role here for the Wolverines. Already in double digits and knocks down a pair from the line. He's got 11. As the Trojans look to push, it's Baker Mazzara getting downhill, pull-up jumper, in and out. Ball tipped around and Kaysen ends up with it, and Mazzara fouled. The Wolverines going the other way, and the Wolverines go right back to the line. And Baker Mazzara's 3rd foul. That's huge for the Wolverines. As a big applause from the crowd when that was announced.
Right, and when I talk about Baker Mazzara being allowed to sort of shoot threes at his own pleasure, I think a big part of preventing that was just potentially constantly getting contact on him, not making him feel comfortable, and by drawing 3 fouls out of him, I think that's very much to the effect of what the Wolverines want to achieve here.
Yeah, as Kaysen will knock down the first free throw. He's a 57% shooter from there. Kaysen, a second-year player, followed Dusty May from FAU. That's where he originally committed. But when Dusty May took the job here in Ann Arbor, he followed. And has improved his production, played more compared to last, averaging almost 20 minutes a game. Kaysen knocks down both, 32-21 Wolverines. With 4.5 to go here in the first half. Jerry Easton, nice move. Spins out to Easwar, ball knocked away by Shetter. Wolverines pick it up. Kaysen looks to push. Will get downhill. Will finish no good with the right hand. And out of bounds going the other way to USC.
Lendeborg looking to extend on the rebound, but Kaysen's pass Just tips just right the wrong way to spit out of bounds and give the Trojans back the ball.
But the Trojans now, Marsh gets downhill. Tough layup, hangs in the air, no good. Easwar on the glass gets the offensive rebound, and it's knocked away off of the Wolverines, they say. Trojans keep the ball. That's not very popular with this Wolverines crowd. As we look at the replay here, and that looked like off of Easwar's leg, and they're not going to review it. And they will. They'll head to New York and take a look as Namari Burnett checks in. 4:04 to go. Michigan. And this should be a quick review here, Vihaan. It looked like it was off Easwar's leg last.
Yeah. And with about 4 minutes left in the half, that'll kind of bring up what has been, you know, not the half that I think Michigan fans would allow, but by no means a mark of shame on the Wolverines. They're playing against a ranked opponent, their first ranked opponent since, I believe, Gonzaga in the Players Era Festival back towards the end of November around Thanksgiving. And
yeah, you make a great point there. I feel like both teams playing to their strengths, but also their weaknesses being shown. The Wolverines have been turning the ball over early, and the Trojans have not been able to get to the free throw line. As Duncan Robinson is in the building for Detroit Pistons night.
Fun fact, Duncan Robinson is in fact an alumni of our station.
Yeah, former WCBN sports member.
Had a podcast while he was here, the Dak and Dunk podcast.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I think this team's got the prospects of making a run to Monday night.
As Robinson and the Detroit Pistons off to a great start themselves, #1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and what a turnaround as they had the worst record in NBA history, only totally rebuilt their team, headed by Cade Covington, the Michigan alum. Was a part of a national championship finalist back in 2018. As he will rally up the crowd. 4:04 to go here at Detroit Piston night in the Chrysler Center. As we look in Rez Johnson, the leading scorer for the Wolverines, 11 points, 4 for 4 from the field. And we look at the USC Trojans, it's pretty much only been Ezra Easwar and Jaden Brownell. As both teams right now projected in the NCAA tournament field, the Wolverines #1 overall seed in many bracketologies. The Trojans right now projected as a 6th seed, looking to improve. Their strength of schedule has not been that great. They won the Maui Invitational back in November. However, the strength of record has not been that great. They took care of Bears' business in December. Their only loss was against the Washington Huskies in their first game of Big Ten play. They traveled to East Lansing right after this game to face the Michigan State Spartans, known as probably the second best team in the Big Ten right now. So it's for the Trojans to begin 2026. However, if you're Eric Musselman, you're a little optimistic here, hanging around at what people say the best team in the country's home place.
Well, the Wolverines will also embark on a road trip this coming week.
Yeah, the Wolverines look to have an easier January than people would think. Their eyes are circled for January 30th, a meeting at the Breslin Center on Friday night against the #9 team in the country. Should be an awesome game. But still focused on here, the Wolverines up 32-21. An extended review from the referees, and it will be Wolverines basketball. As Dusty May will win the challenge. And we will finally begin play here. A little bit of full court pressure here from the Trojans. On the floor for the Wolverines, Lendeborg, Cadeau, LJ Kaysen, Trey McKinney, and Will Shetter. And we'll get it into Cadeau, who's guarded closely by Marsh. A little bit of full court pressure. We're under 4 to go here in the first half. Cadeau hesitates, pump fakes again, gets inside, hangs in the air, and banks home a layup. Shetter and Cadeau with some hesitation, but it ends up with a bucket on the other end. 34-21 Wolverines. And here's Terrence Williams, who will hand it off to Jared Easter. Easter gives to Easwar. Back out to Easter on the left wing. He'll jab. Out to Bronell in the corner, and he'll knock down a three. Jaden Bronell, his first bucket. And it's a 10-point game with 3:15 to go. Here's Cadeau. He'll hesitate, get inside, lower the shoulder, and a blocking foul on Jordan Marsh. Cadeau does a good job of drawing some contact and getting inside. He'll go to the stripe for two.
As the Wolverines with 10 points, this is actually one of the larger leads that they've held this half. Like I said, the Trojans have done a good job of keeping it within 5, 6, 7, 8 points.
Yeah, the 10th team foul on the Trojans. It'll be Cadeau to the line. And that first free throw rattles in and out. Cadeau only a 60% free throw shooter. As Merez Johnson Jr. checks back in. Cam Woods checks in as well for the Trojans. Cadeau's second free throw is up and good. Wolverines 35, Trojans 24. As Cam Woods brings it up. Woods guarded by Cadeau. Will get downhill on the left hand. Nice gather step inside, no good off the glass. And Cadeau grabs the strong rebound. He'll push ahead to Kaysen. Kaysen gets downhill, jump stop layup is good. Kaysen's on the scoreboard. His first field goal, he's got 4 points. As Cam Woods will bring it up for the Trojans. A wild pass, almost turned over. Easter's got to watch his feet, and we'll get it back in. Terrence Williams drives inside, and the former Wolverine pulls up and finishes. A nice mid-range shot for him. Trojans hanging around here with 2:24 to go in the first half. Cadeau, a nice screen from Johnson Jr. Draws two, spins. Down low to Merez Johnson, a pump fake and layup. Johnson Jr. continues to feast inside for the Wolverines. Trojans the other way, back out to Williams in the corner from three. Off the back rim, no good. And Shetter grabs his second rebound. Cadeau gets a screen from Johnson Jr. Penetrates inside, tough layup, and he'll shoot it over the backboard. And a turnover, Trojans ball.
Yeah, and the Wolverines starting to pick up a little bit more momentum going the other end. I think scoring hasn't really been the issue so far. Obviously, doesn't look like Michigan will continue its streak of 100-point games. That's obviously not necessarily a realistic expectation no matter how good this team has looked. I think it's just Michigan starting to kind of clean up some of the giveaways, some of the fouls that have sort of put them in a tougher game than some would have expected going in.
As knocked away by Cadeau, good defense from the Wolverines. Cadeau downhill, wide open, Merez Johnson Jr. with the slam dunk. Ball knocked away again, Johnson Jr. Another steal. Wolverines with numbers. Cadeau downhill, throws it up. Johnson Jr. throws it down. The Chrysler Center exploding as the Trojans call a timeout. Merez Johnson Jr. with 17 first half points.
Yeah, and now as we get lead up to 17, that's what you've expected. That's what you've seen a lot out of the Wolverines these past 2 months. Just, just getting handsy, getting gritty in the backcourt, knocking inside the ball, and sending it the other end, kicking on a fast break. You take advantage of your size at the dunker to drill in that dunker, that layup.
Yeah, it is. It is team defense to team offense. We've seen it. Merez Johnson Jr. a perfect 7 for 7 from the field, 17 points in 13 minutes. And the Wolverines up by 17, 43-26. The Trojans had to burn another timeout as they're now kind of gasping for breath here on a little 6-0 run in the last minute of play. And look at the replay there. Cadeau, a nice alley-oop to Merez Johnson Jr. as the Chrysler Center fired up. 1:20 to go. Cam Wood brings it up. We'll give it to Terrence Williams, who gets a screen from Easwar. We'll give it back to Easwar. Out to Bronell on the short corner. He's short on the layup. Easwar offensive rebound. Glides inside. Tipped around. and off of the Wolverines. The Trojans will keep possession.
Bounce right off the tip of Wolverine hand.
20 seconds on the shot clock here. Cam Woods will direct traffic, give it to Cherry Easter in the corner. Easter fouled by Trey McKinney. Will be McKinney's first foul with about a minute to go here in the first half. Namari Burnett will check in now for Trey McKinney. Jerry Easter will head to the line to shoot some free throws. Easter McDonald's All-American here, the freshman guards, as he'll knock down the first. Easter an 81% free throw shooter, not known for his shooting ability, more of a slasher, and someone that can get to the rim. As Easter dribbles the ball 3 times, sets his feet, and too strong on the rebound, or on the free throw, excuse me. The Trojans' offensive float shot is good. Wolverines do a poor job of boxing out there, and the Trojans are down by 14 now. Cadeau, pull-up 3 is short, and a push-off and a loose ball foul on the Wolverines. And a little bit of bickering down low from the Wolverines and the Trojans. Might have been a tripping there from Ezra Assar. The referees will gather. We'll figure out on what they will call there. It was first a loose ball foul on the Wolverines. However, they will go to the review to see if there was any sort of flagrant or technical foul, I assume. So it was first on Johnson Jr., they are saying, but we're going to get a replay here. And then it looked like Ezra Assar with a little extracurricular push at the end of the play. So it could be a possible double foul situation, Vihaan. We'll see.
Yeah, I think this game hasn't necessarily been foul heavy due to chippiness more so than just a little bit of carelessness. But maybe, you know, as we see 10 fouls on the Trojans, 9 on the Wolverines, perhaps tempers start to build as this game progresses.
Yeah, that's for sure, and we'll see what they call here. Both teams with a lot of fouls. We have 20 combined fouls right now here in the first half. Kind of shows how physical and chippy it has been, and here's the call. They say a dead ball foul on Ezra Assar, so we'll see what the ruling will be. Because Merez Johnson did foul Ezra Assar first on a loose ball foul. As there's 45.5 seconds to go in this first half. The Wolverines look to be on pace to score 100 again, would be their 8th of the season.
Yeah, a few minutes ago I mentioned they may be a little bit unlikely to reach that lofty benchmark here, but 42 points, there's setting themselves up in range to get there with a big second half, with a second half, you know, explosion the way they did against Maryland, which was a game that went not exactly the same, slightly similar.
Yeah, and for the loose ball foul now, Assar will go to the line to shoot a pair. The first free throw rattles home for the Trojans. Assar with 9 points, 4 boards, and 14 minutes of play. He bends his legs, shoots another, and swishes it home. And now it looks like the Wolverines will do the same, as it was a double foul. So it'll be Namari Burnett shooting for the Wolverines. His turn at 2 free throws. Bends his knees, waits, shoots, and rattles home the first. Burnett, the graduate student from Chicago, Illinois, has started every game in his 3-year career here for the Wolverines. A 6-year player previously played for Texas Tech and Alabama, as he misses the second free throw. 44-31 Wolverines. As the crowd is booing, as it seems like Eric Musselman is trying to influence the referees. It will be Michigan basketball after the double foul, as they have a fresh 20 on the shot clock. Cadeau will inbound. Cadeau gives to Shetter in the short corner, out to Burnett, who pulls from the right wing, and no good off the back rim. Dines grabs the rebound, tries to save it, and saves it out of bounds. The Wolverines will keep possession with 38.6 to go.
Yeah, and I think great spacing there to not give, just kind of take away the Trojans' comfort and not let them get across that pass, forcing up bounds.
As Shetter with it now, he'll pull from 3 and fouled in the act of shooting by Brownell. An inexcusable. And Shetter will go shoot 3 from the free throw line. Shetter, the glue guy, a big locker room presence here for the Wolverines, an 85% free throw shooter. His first is up and good. Shetter, a grad student himself, as he'll bend his knees and knock down the second. Shetter, 9 minutes of playing time so far, 4 points, 2 boards. Has been very gritty on the glass. As he sets for the third. Good as well. 35.5 to go, 47-31 Wolverines. As it looks like the Trojans will hold until that shot clock gets low. It's Baker Mazar at the top of the key. Burnett will close on him. Baker Mazar wants a screen. Shetter switched on him. Baker Mazar going to work. Gets inside. Kick out stolen away by Cadeau. Here's Burnett on the fast break. He loses the ball and is fouled by Baker Mazar. That's going to be his 4th foul.
Yeah, and Burnett, I think just slight stumble there that caused him to just lose control, then leading into the foul by Baker Mazar. He would have been awful too anyway, but now he's got a chance to do it from the...
And Baker Mazar's 4th foul, out of control, jumping, and that's just an inexcusable foul for a graduate student who has so much experience playing college basketball, knowing he has 3 fouls, knowing he has to be careful. That's a fast break layup that he should not be jumping for. Not a smart foul as Burnett to the line, and he'll knock down the first. Mazzara is going to head to the bench. 4 fouls for the Trojans' best player, and he doesn't even want to come out. He finally does. Cam Woods checks in for him. 8.8 to go. Burnett, his second free throw is up and pure. 3 points for Burnett now. 8 seconds for the Trojans to do something before the end of the first half. It's Easter bringing up the ball. Screen from Dines. Easter with 5, with 4. Step back 3. No good. Way off. And out of bounds. Off of Namari Burnett. 2 seconds for the Trojans. And Adai Mar will check in, the 7'2" big man, as well as Trey McKinney. And that's not helpful for Cam Woods. 6'6", guarded, out of bounds by Adai Mara. 7'2", he throws it in. Williams picks it up. Brownell at the buzzer, and no good. The Trojans fail to capitalize there. And the Wolverines, a big first half, 49 points. The Trojans with 31. Recover from a little bit of a slow start and take control of this game over the number 24 ranked team in the country.
You know, and even in a game where you could argue that Michigan could be playing better down there, you know, Yaxel Endemore, star player, ended up having just 5 points in 6 minutes. you're up for a total of 8 points on the game. You're still up by 18 points. And to add on to the Axel, it seemed like there was a bit of a knock there on DeBoer. There seemed like a bit of a knock there. He went to the locker room early. It didn't look like it was anything super serious on my end. It seems like mostly a precautionary step. But, you know, even in that game state, the Wolverines still hold a commanding halftime lead, up 49-31. And I think so far I'm seeing an example of May's penchant to make those adjustments sooner than you would expect him to. You know, the Wolverines saw that they were struggling with leaving Mazzara unconscious for open threes, so they just sort of really draw contact out of him, and now he's out of the game.
Yeah, that makes for sure. The Wolverines started off slow. The Trojans saw at a point. However, it was Merez Johnson Jr. really the difference for the Wolverines in the first half. Like we said before, 17 points, 7 for 7 from the field, and just dominant down low. The Trojans had no answer for him.
Yeah. And another issue there was the turnovers for the Wolverines. They've been much more secure with the ball. I think after 10 minutes into the half, just sort of needed time to ease into it, and just have been better at, you know, picking up some of those fouls that led to the Trojans being able to hang the game. I think we've seen the Wolverines adjust over the course of the half, even without their best player, with Morales Johnson really stepping up. Johnson with 17 points and 1 rebound in a phenomenal first half performance. And I think this example shows. I think this is an example of just what Dustin May is capable of. Because I guess that's what we need to be making. See how we got in these games in such dominating fashion.
Yeah, and just at the end of the half, Chad Baker-Mazar, his 4th foul, the best score for the Trojans. Really not smart to keep him on the floor there. 49-31 as we will step aside and take a break for the halftime, and we'll check back in for the second half. Thank you for listening to WCBN Sports as always, and we will see you in about 13 minutes.
This is Atticus Caress. I'm here with Vihaan Easwar for the second half of this top 25 ranked Big Ten matchup between the Michigan Wolverines and the USC Trojans, leading 49-31 heading into this second half. The Wolverines struggled from the three-point stripe, going just 2 of 14 in the first half, but were led by sophomore transfer guard Michigan Johnson Jr., who led the way, 7 of 7, all buckets in that first half for him coming in the paint. The Wolverines are outpacing the Trojans in the paint, 28-12. What did you see in that first half that went the Wolverines' way?
For the sake of emphasis, I'm kind of going to repeat my comments kind of towards the end of the half. I think we saw Dusty May's propensity to make those adjustments in action. Like, I think the start of the game you saw Michigan maybe come out a little bit choppier than you would expect at the start of the season. A couple of fouls, a couple of turnovers, and I think you saw the Wolverines kind of ease into the game, just tighten their spacing, get better control over the ball, just be more secure with the ball over the half. And the product is this 18-point lead that they built up after only staying about like 5 to 8 points clear for most of the first half.
One notable note for the first half is the Trojans racked up 4 fouls, getting his last one with just 8 seconds left. We'll see how they're able to factor him in the second half. Only one away from fouling out as we started up here. Trojans bring the ball inside. Mid-range jumper there from Jerry Easter, misses. Grabbed by Godot. Godot heading the other way. Sends it off to Barnett in the corner. Barnett driving inside. Kick out. Lindenberg, 3 from the corner. Just off the rim and no good. Wolverines try to fight for the offensive rebound. Unable to as Easwar gathers it and sends it up to Chad Baker. Baker now inside to Easwar. He kicks it out to Kofi. Kofi, 3 ball to gather the rebound as the Wolverines head the other way. Barnett now off to the wing. Tries to feed inside to Johnson, but a foul called there. That's going to be Easter. And the Wolverines once again getting a stop ball due to a Trojan foul. Fouls were an issue for the Trojans in the first half. Michigan was able to score some points off getting in the double bonus early. As Mara now has it at the top of the key. He feeds inside to Johnson. Johnson, 1 dribble. Shot fake, goes up, and another foul. He's going to have 2 shots. That one there on Brunel.
You know, in a lot of discourse about today's NBA, you hear about teams getting bail-branded, not real basketball teams for what people call foul baiting. But jarring contact and winning at the free throw line is a skill.
Michigan Johnson, a great free throw shooting forward, shooting 81% on the season. 3 of 4 here today. His first one touches just the net and extends this Wolverine lead to 19 with 19-10 left in this second half. The Wolverines got to the line 19 times in that first half, making 15 of them. Johnson here with his second. And he makes the pair. Wolverines now with a 20-point lead.
Just a little injury update here. Yaxel Lindenberg is back on the court. As all Wolverines fans, I'm sure, will breathe a massive sigh of relief.
Michigan Johnson now diving on the ground. Ball goes off of USC. That was Chad Baker Mazzara with another turnover as he lays down on the court. But he hops up now. Just disappointment. Great hustle there. All the way in the backcourt, the hustle from Michigan Johnson Jr. to get the Wolverines the ball. A lot of sloppy dribbling and passing in the first half from the Trojans. That'll be their 13th turnover just early in this second half. Lindenberg inbounding now. He finds Barnett in the corner. Barnett shoots just short, but the rebound there from Johnson. As now he backs down inside, spin move, tries to go up and gets fouled. 2 more now coming for Michigan Johnson Jr. Already 19 points with just 18:50 left in this second half.
Trojans kind of unable to get out of their own way so far to start this half.
Johnson now gets to the free throw line. His first hits the back of the rim, rolls to the front, and goes in. That's the 3rd foul there on the Kofi, the big man, down low for the Trojans. That's now 3 players on the floor for the Trojans with 3 or more fouls. As Johnson now sets up for his second free throw. And he makes that one as well. 4 for 4 for Johnson to start this second half from the charity stripe as Easter brings it down for the Trojans.
Johnson up to 21 points on the half already, on the game already.
The jumper from Easter just short. Mara able to grab the rebound, hands it off to Cadeau as they head the other way. Cadeau looks like he might spot up, but gives it to Mara at the top of the key. Back to Cadeau. Cadeau now dribbling around the arc, brings it inside, gets to the paint, kicks it out to Merez Johnson, who misses the three-pointer, but a rebound by Barnett, and the Wolverines get a second chance. Barnett now the three-pointer, just a little left. Rebound USC coming back. They pull up for a deep, deep three. That's short, and the rebound here from Lindenberg. Looks to be doing much better now. He gives it off to Mara at the top of the key. Mara now double-teamed, fights away, gives it back to Lindenberg, who gives it down to Johnson. Johnson dribbles inside, gets to the block, and misses the layup. Rebound Trojan, hops and hands it off to Kofi. Kofi now at the top of the key. Dribble handoff to Easter. Easter to the free throw line, back to Kofi. Kofi inside. The crowd wants a block for Mara, but they call a foul, and this is going to be 2 shots here coming for Jacob Kofi. This is Kofi's first trip to the line today. And the second foul there on Mara. Mara started off real hot, 3 steals in just the first couple minutes of this game. Kofi's first free throw, up and good. Cuts this lead to 21 with 17:36 left in this second half. Roddy Gale enters the game for Merez Johnson Jr. Gale in that first half played just 7 minutes, but was impactful while he was in there. Racked up a couple fouls, though. And he comes in and grabs the rebound off the miss from Kofi. Now Roddy Gale bringing it down. Tries to feed to Mara, but Mara wasn't paying attention in a turnover here. Kofi brings it back down. Hands it off there to Baker Mazzara. Baker Mazzara. Barnett tries to draw the offensive foul. He feeds inside to Kofi, but a block by Lindenberg. Lindenberg sent Kofi's shot away, but the ball bounced out of bounds, and it will retain with the Trojans. Inbounded now here from Cam Woods for the Trojans. Just 19 seconds left on this shot clock. He's looking for Baker Mazzara, but throws it all the way into the backcourt as Mazzara chases it back down by his own hoop and brings it back up now for the Trojans. Barnett guarding. Mazzara feeds it into Easwar. Right at the top of the key, back to Baker Mazzara. He's out in the corner. A difficult shot from Mazzara. Can't find anything, and the rebound now from Lindenberg. He passes it up to Mara, full-length pass, and the alley-oop layup there to Roddy Gale Jr. Great passing there from the Wolverines. Lindenberg to Mara to Roddy Gale. Now Easwar brings it inside. He gets fouled there from Lindenberg and will shoot 2. A little bit of a hockey assist there from Lindenberg on the long pass after the rebound.
Thought there was a bit of a charge and attempt to sell that charge as a foul there.
That's right. Easwar now at the line. He leads all of college basketball in free throw attempts this year. This will be his 121st and 122nd on the season. Good free throw shooter, shooting over 80%. His first goes. Brings the Trojans to 33, trailing the Wolverines by 22. Easwar listed at 6'9", 250 is quite a physical presence there on the floor. As he sets up for a second. And that one is up and good. They bring a little bit of a pressure, the Trojans do here on the Wolverines, as Lindenberg brings it up the left side, taking his time, passes it all the way forward to Mara, who drops it back to Cadeau. Cadeau now working to his left, gets to the elbow but loses the ball off his foot, and that's going to get scooped up by the Trojan, who dish it off to Easwar. Easwar gets to the lane, misses, but is fouled there and he'll shoot 2 more. Looks like there's an injured Wolverine down on the floor. Can't tell. It looks like it might be Barnett, and it is. He's grabbing his ankle there down on the floor. We hope all is good as the trainers now rush up to see what's going on.
Yeah, and for Abigail Jr. there, that seemed like a bit of a can't really win situation. It's either you go out there with the tactical block with a foul and then send USC to the line, or you allow the 2. It's just kind of, I think he did the best he could given the situation.
The fans in this stadium have their eyes down on Barnett now, who we hope is all right. Trainer taking some time to figure out what the problem is. And while we wait for this to be resolved, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to WCBN Radio.
Fans, tonight we would like to recognize all of our first responders in attendance as our hero of the game, presented by Belfour Property Restoration. If you are a police officer, firefighter, emergency responder, or other first responder, please rise and be recognized. Let's hear it one more time for all of our first responders for being tonight's hero of the game, presented by Belfour Property Restoration, the official property restoration partner of Michigan Athletics.
We're back here with second half action as the Wolverines lead the Trojans 55-34. Burnett was able to get off the court on his own power, favoring that left leg, but seemed to be all right. He's the only returning starter for the Wolverines this year, having been here the last 2 seasons. Hopefully he's all right and is able to suit up for the Wolverines shortly.
Yeah, last season, Dustin, as I'm sure you all know, quickly rebuilt a program that had struggled the past 2 seasons with an identity mostly modeled off size, with 7-footers Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden serving as the fulcrums of the team. And now, after both of those 2 departed for the NBA draft, the May opted not to fix what wasn't broken at all, as what won Michigan a Big Ten tournament title and helped them make it all the way to Sweet 16, and continue to build this team around size. This time focusing the team around transfers Merez Johnson, Yaxel Landeborg, and Ademara.
Kaysen joins Cadeau in the backcourt for the Wolverines. As Asar now shooting his first free throw, first of 2. We said it before, but he does an outstanding job of getting to the line and is able to cash in when he does, as his first one, oh, I spoke too soon, off the front of the rim and misses. 6 for 8 on the game today, but shooting over 80% on the season. Asar gets the ball now, shooting his second free throw. This one is able to go. Wolverines now inbounding. Cadeau bringing it down the right side. We said it earlier, but Maker Mazzara, the leading scorer for the Trojans, with 4 fouls, try to attack him on the defensive end. Oh, now here, though, as Lindenberg takes the shot from the wing, and that one just long the 3-pointer. Rebound there from the Trojans. That's Bronell, who gets it back to Baker Mazzara. He's on the right side now. High screen from Dines as Baker Mazzara tries to kick it all the way to the other corner, but it flies a little high, and a turnover there from the Trojans. Wolverines bring Merez Johnson Jr. and Trey McKinney into the game, taking out Ademara and Yaxel Lindenborg. Merez Johnson Jr., the leading scorer for the Wolverines tonight with 21 points. Kaysen inbounding now to Cadeau. Cadeau bringing it down the floor. Kicks it over to McKinney. McKinney back to Cadeau. Cadeau inside to Roddy Gale, who gets to the block but is blocked inside by Brunell. Now heading the other way, it's Woods for the Trojans. He feeds Easwar down at the elbow. Casey one-on-one with Casey. Tries to kick to the corner. Pass is tipped but caught now by the Trojans. Inside shot there from Brunell is good. And the Trojans able to cut this lead to 18 with 15:20 left in the second half. Cadeau now has it. Kicks it over to McKinney. McKinney pump fakes but gives it back to Cadeau at the top of the key. Cadeau inside now to Gale. Gale throws it up to Merez Johnson and the alley-oop for the Wolverines. Michigan doing a great job of picking apart that 2-3 zone that USC is sitting in as Woods brings it back down for the Trojans down to the right side. Passes it up top to the big man, Dines. Tipped away by Johnson. Tries to get a hand on it, but Dines comes back the other way. Now it's Easwar coming inside. Spin move. Ball gets loose, but finds the hand of Elliot Cadeau and will stay down here on the offensive possession for USC. And with the early season injury to Rodney Rice, it seems like Ezra Easwar and Chad Baker-Mazara are basically the whole offense for this USC team. As Terrence Williams works inside, shoots one from right in front of the bucket, banks it in. A little bit more offensive production from USC in the second half, more than we saw in the first, as McKinney has it on the left side. He passes it across to Cadeau. Cadeau now back to McKinney. McKinney trying to find Roddy Gale at the elbow, not able to. Corner pass to Casey, and that's good. LJ Kaysen with the corner three. His first made three of this basketball game, and he's able to extend this Wolverine lead past the 20-point margin once again.
Yeah, the Wolverines haven't been all that adventurous from outside the arc on the night. Why do so when you just have guaranteed success with the dunker with all your sun footers? That doesn't mean they can't shoot threes, though.
Easwar now has it on the wing. Size it up, McKinney. Pass to Woods. Woods dribbles it off his own foot, and the Wolverines force another Trojan turnover. That'll be their 15th turnover this evening, compared to just 8 for this Michigan basketball team. Roddy Gale enters, Will Cheddar enters the game now for Elliot Cadeau as Kaysen brings it down. Trojans switch back to a man defense. Kaysen now brings it to the top of the key, kicks it over to Gale. Gale from the wing, three ball, long, but Merez Johnson fighting now. Cheddar gets his hands on it, back to McKinney. McKinney drives inside, kicks it back out to Cheddar. Pass and a turnover after a hard-fought offensive rebound by Will Cheddar. The Wolverines give it away quickly. And if you're the Trojans, you got to get it going quickly. Down 21 with just 13:28 left in this second half. They're going to need to score points in a flurry if they want to make this a ball game again. As Baker-Mazara brings it inside, the floater in and out, and the rebound by Merez Johnson, who gives it up to Gale, working down the left side. Gale back to Johnson. Johnson over to Kaysen. Kaysen back to Merez Johnson from the top of the key. Three ball goes. And he can just do no wrong right now. The 26th point there from Merez Johnson Jr., having a career night for the Wolverines. Nearly a turnover there. Kick down to Brunell from the corner, and that quick three from USC after some sloppy passing up near midcourt. Gale Workley loses the ball, but it's gathered by Cheddar, who shoots the floater, and it's in. Roddy Gale sprinted down the court and get the bucket there for the Wolverines as Baker-Mazara brings it back the other way. Wolverines leading by 23 with 12:42 left in the second half. Baker-Mazara feeds Easwar at the top of the key. He drives in, gets fouled, and the and one rolls in and out. So it'll be 2 free throws for Easwar. The foul there on Merez Johnson Jr., his third of the game.
Back to Johnson Jr. shooting 50% from the field goal line. 9 out of 11 field goals, 7 out of 8 free throws attempted.
That was his first three-pointer of the game there for Johnson. Most of his scoring today has either come from the inside the paint, as Easwar lines up his first of 2 from the line here. And that one's long off the back of the rim. That was his 10th free throw attempt of the game already. Adai Mara comes in now for the Wolverines, takes out Morez Johnson, who gets quite the applause from this Michigan crowd. The second here from Easwar is up and short, and the rebound there for Mara. Now it's McKinney bringing it down the left side for the Wolverines. He passes it to Mara. Mara to the corner for Cheddar. Pump fake, drive inside, back out to Mara. Now tries to find a cutting Kaysen, isn't able to. Kaysen now has it. Settles for a three-pointer, but no, passes it inside to Mara, and that's going to be a foul inside there for Ezra Easwar. Mara going to be shooting 2 here. This will be Mara's first 2 free throw attempts of the game. Just 2 points for Mara, well below his season average. He's averaging 10.9 this season and grabbing a healthy 8.3 rebounds. His first free throw attempt is up and no good. He struggled at the line this season, shooting just 42%. See the Wolverines. Mara, the only starter now still left in this game. That's his second free throw. Lands on the front of the rim and rolls in. Able to extend this Wolverine lead.
Mara still with the valiant defensive effort on the night with six rebounds, leading the team.
Baker Mazzara now has it on the left wing, up at the top of the key. Passes it back to Baker Mazzara, who drives inside, gets fouled by Cheddar. Or a shooting foul. You hear the boos from the crowd. It wasn't a real, didn't seem like that shot attempt really had any chance of going in the basket, more so just looking to draw the foul, but he does, and he'll shoot 2 after a short break here in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines leading 66-42 with 11:48 left in this second half. And we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to WCBN Radio. We join you back here in Ann Arbor as the Michigan Wolverines lead the USC Trojans 66-42 with 11:48 left in this second half. Chad Baker Mazzara now set to shoot 2. We talked earlier in the game about what seemed to be a little bit of a limp on Yaxel Lindenborg. We see him now sitting on the bench with some sort of wrap on his left. Hope everything's all right. The first there for Baker Mazzara rattles away. Him and Damari Burnett both exiting with injuries earlier in this game. Baker Mazzara now, the second one falls. Kaysen now inbounding for the Wolverines. McKinney has it. Back over to Kaysen working down the left side. Crosses midcourt now. Mazzara guarding. Kaysen comes inside, throws the lob up to Ade Mara. And the two-point basket there for the Wolverines. Continuing to be able to get whatever they like inside. Pushes this lead to 25. Now lead to 25. Now Baker Mazzara coming the other way. Kaysen guarding. Switches with Cheddar now. Baker Mazzara dribbling down in the left corner. Comes inside, gets to the lane and scores over Ade Mara. The two-point basket there for the leading scorer today for the Trojans. Mara now has it at the top of the key. Tries to find a cutting Gale, but instead settles for Kaysen. Kaysen now coming around. The floater is sent away by Baker Mazzara. Sent away by Baker Mazzara. The Wolverines now will have an inbound underneath the basket. Kaysen inbounding. Finds it inside for McKinney, who thought he was fouled, but they say it's just tipped away. Sides of the basket as the Wolverines with another inbound here from below. Kaysen now tries to find McKinney, and this time, same play. This time they do call the foul. That one find McKinney, and this time, same play. This time they do call the foul. That one there on Jerry Easter to shoot two. McKinney unable to score so far in this game. He went 0 for 3 from the three-point line in that first half. And now a discussion between these refs, but no, it is a shooting foul. At first we thought they might switch it to a foul on the floor, but McKinney settles in for the first of his 2 free throws. The freshman's had a great season so far, averaging nearly 9 a game, as the first one falls. Correction, he's averaging 10.8 a game. He gets ready for this second free throw, which is up and good. First couple points of the game and extends this lead back up to 25. The Wolverines, 12-0 on the season, have won 6 of those 12 games by more than 40 points and might be on pace to do it again tonight, leading by 25 with just under 11 minutes left in this second half. Baker Mazzara has it now, top of the key, working on McKinney. One-man show here, and he turns it over. Stolen by Roddy Gale, who gives it off to McKinney. McKinney comes inside, and the layup there. Baker Mazzara is spending almost all of these USC possessions just dribbling alone at the top of the key. You would think Coach Eric Musselman's going to want to try to get more players, and he passes it off to Burnell. Burnell tries to find the cutting Terrence Williams II, but is unable to, and another turnover there from the Trojans.
I think by now the Wolverines' game plan is really set into effect. Just kind of making use of spacing to force the Trojans out, just force as many turnovers as possible, playing fundamental basketball on offense. It hasn't been their sharpest game, but it's still enough to win by 27 points. And if you can win by nearly 30 points in one of your weaker games this season, what does that say about your basketball team?
No doubt about it now as Kaysen drives inside, throws it up to Mara, ahead to the line for 2. One thing we talked about a lot last year with this Michigan team is they kind of lived and died by the three-pointer. Lots of times last season we saw when they had poor shooting nights, that correlated to losses. Tonight they're 4 of 22 from the three-point line and still leading a ranked USC team by 27.
I've been saying for a few weeks now, this team is capable of making nearly any kind of shot. Obviously, they're dominant dunker. They're great from the free throw line. They can shoot threes when they need to.
Mara misses that first free throw off the back of the rim. We noted it earlier. He's been struggling from the line this year, shooting just 42% as he settles in for his second one, which is up and long. 0 for 2 there from the stripe as USC comes the other way. It's Woods with it now. He's working on the right wing. Tries to find Kofi at the top. He does now. Kofi swings it over to the other side, gets it down to Burnell. Burnell pulls up for a mid-range jumper, which goes. And a nice bucket there from USC, one of their few where they've really worked the ball and found an assist on the play. McKinney bringing it down for the Wolverines, passes it over to Gale. Gale looking inside for Mara, not able to get the feed in. Passes it off to Cheddar, who gives it to Kaysen. Kaysen swings it to Mara. Mara now pivoting, shoots a long two that hits the front of the rim and misses, but a great effort by Rod for the offensive rebound and gets fouled.
Right, this Wolverines team has played into contact a lot today.
That now the 7th foul on the Trojans, meaning this Michigan team is now in the bonus. But they call a shooting foul there. And so 2 free throws for Roddy Gale. Gale's had a good night tonight. 7 points on just 3 shots as his first free throws up and out. No good there. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, steal. He gets ready for this 2nd free throw. Wolverines leading 72-47 with just 9:20 left in the second half as he makes the 2nd. Cadeau now enters the game for LJ Kaysen. And Merez Johnson Jr. comes in for Will Cheddar. Wolverines up 26 points here and decide to bring back in some starters. Dusty May not seen enough from his boys so far. Merez Johnson, the leading scorer in this ballgame with 20, all 9 buckets. My apologies, 8 buckets coming in the paint from Merez Johnson. As Kofi has it now for USC, drives by Gale, gets inside, drops it off for Easwar, who stands at the block, pivots around, Roddy Gale on the ball. Passed back out now to Woods. Cadeau guarding, feeds it back inside to Easwar, who starts backing down Roddy Gale. Loses the ball, active hands there from Cadeau, finally grabs it and throws it up at the rim, but no good. Roddy Gale with the rebound, moving quickly down the floor, off to Cadeau. Cadeau inside, reverse layup, no good, bucket. What an active possession there from Roddy Gale. Gets the stop defensively, grabs the defensive rebound, grabs an offensive rebound on the other side and the putback. Easwar now has it, working down to the elbow. Johnson guarding, tries to find a cutting Jerry Easter, but the ball bounces off his leg and heads out of bounds. The Wolverines have done an outstanding job defensively. Both these teams entering the game were the top 2 teams in the Big Ten in scoring, and yet they've held USC to just 47 points with just over 8 minutes remaining. Cadeau has it now towards the top of the key. Turnover stolen by Woods, comes the other way, and the bucket there from Woods. One of the first couple of points off turnovers for this Trojan team.
Yeah, I think it's really one of the few ugly turnovers that you've seen in a while from Wolverines. They tighten their ball security a lot for much of the second half and later in the first.
As Roddy Gale puts up a corner 3, which goes. And a big 3 from Gale gets him into double figures on the game. Woods now working the other way. McKinney guarding. Now he switches off with Cadeau. High pick and roll between Woods and Easwar. Woods gets to the rim, kicks it outside. The 3-pointer there is long and rebounded by Merez Johnson. That was Ryan Cornish for USC that missed the 3, and a corner kick out. McKinney's 3 misses, but an offensive foul from Roddy Gale as he drove in before kicking it out. And that'll take us to our second to last media timeout as the Wolverines lead the Trojans 78-49 with 7:26 remaining in this second half. Axel Lindenborg and Ade Mara have been excellent tonight, limiting the Trojans both inside and being led on offense by Merez Johnson, who leads both teams to 26 points. Michigan proving why they're the #2 team in the country here tonight. We see Jordan Marsh with the ball for the Trojans. Passes it up inside now to Dale Dines. He swings it to Brunell. Brunell, turnaround Jay is good, but they call a foul on the floor there beforehand. That's going to be Roddy Gale, and that's his 5th foul. He's going to have to go take a seat as he fouls out here. Gale with a productive night, 12 points on 4 of 6 shooting. That'll be the end of his night. He gets a large applause from this Wolverine faithful. Gale replaced now by Kaysen. And Brownlee will shoot 1 and 1 from the line. His first one is good. He'll get rewarded with a second here. Cuts this lead to 28, out of reach now for the Trojans, but they'll do their best to make it look manageable. The second now for Brunell is good. McKinney inbounding, passes it into Cadeau, who gets it up to Kaysen. Kaysen brings it forward to the left side. He works all the way by himself inside, tries to get it to Cheddar, and he does. What a great pass there from Kaysen. Cheddar, turnaround, pump fake, fade away off the front of the rim. Nice little post move there from Cheddar, just unable to finish. As we come back the other way, Jordan Marsh brings it inside, pivots around, finally passes it off to Brunell, who hands it off to Cornish. Cornish gives it back over there to Marsh, passes inside to Easwar. Easwar, turnaround Jay is just short, and an air ball there corralled by Johnson. Passes it to Cheddar. Cheddar back to Casey. Casey, top of the key. 3 is long. Grabbed the rebound there from Easwar, who looks to be about to dribble it out of bounds, but is fouled by Elliot Cadeau, and the fans don't like it. A blocking foul there from Cadeau will put Easwar at the free throw line as the Trojans are in the bonus. It'll be 1 and 1 for Easwar. He's 7 of 11 from the line tonight. That right there was the second foul for Elliot Cadeau. Easwar gets the ball with the stripe. Couple dribbles up and good. Easwar was on the wrong end of a technical foul earlier in this game, grabbing Merez Johnson's ankle. Him and Coach Eric Musselman both received technical fouls in the first half there for the Trojans, as Easwar able to make the second. Cadeau now working the other way, just passing midcourt now. High screen there from Merez Johnson, who sets another one. Cadeau denies it, passes it to the corner to Kaysen. Gives it to Cheddar. Cheddar, wing 3 is good. As the Wolverines finding some rhythm from 3, something they've struggled to do earlier in this game. Led by Cheddar with a pair. Trojans with it now. Give it to Marsh now, working high screen there from Dines. Step back 3-pointer there, and a big time 3 from Marsh. Something we saw a lot of in the first half was heavily contested shots by the Trojans. Not a lot falling as McKinney works to his left hand. Gets inside, and a nice bank shot from Trey McKinney in traffic. Over 2 Trojans and a tough finish off the glass.
5 minutes and 15 points, 17 points left on the board. There's still time for Michigan to get to 100.
That's right. The Wolverines now just 17 points away with 5 minutes left, as the turnaround Jay from Brownlee is good, and he's having quite the second half, Brownlee is. McKinney has it now, passes it up to Kaysen. Kaysen switches sides of the court, giving it to Cadeau. Cadeau working inside and goes up and fouled there. The foul by Jordan Marsh, and Cadeau will go to the line. Cadeau, we talked about coming into this season, obviously the transfer guard from North Carolina, was a great passer, averaging over 6 assists per game last season for North Carolina, but has really improved his outside shooting. This season, shooting over 45% from beyond the 3-point line has been a huge factor for the Wolverines. He's also shooting 89% from the, 80% from the stripe. as he makes the first one here. Mara now comes back in for Cheddar with 4:57 left in this second half. The Wolverines leading 84 to 58. The second one now for Cadeau is long and rebounded there by Williams. He passes it up now to Marsh, and Marsh brings it past midcourt, guarded by Cadeau. He swings it off to Dines, and they catch Trey McKinney reaching in on the big man Dines, and Dines will go to the line in the bonus. That's the 9th foul this half for Michigan. One more, and they move themselves into the double bonus. But for now, it's just a one-on-one for Gabe Dines. Dines shooting 25% from the line. It's his first one, and no good. Long, and a big-time rebound there from Rez Johnson Jr. Passes it up Cadeau on the right side. Cadeau now working back towards the middle, kicks it off to McKinney on the left. He feeds it down low to Mara. Mara now backing down inside, spins around, help side there from the USC Trojans, kicks it out to Cadeau. Cadeau's three from the corner is long, and it's corralled by the Trojans heading the other way. Now with it is Ryan Cornish on Johnson. Johnson picks his pocket and takes it away. Passes it up to Cadeau. Cadeau comes inside, throws it up to Johnson, who is able to lay that one in. Johnson now with 28 on the evening. Gets his second steal of the game there, as the Trojans are working the ball back down the floors. Passed off now to Jordan Marsh. Jordan Marsh takes the three from the wing. That's no good. The rebound inside by Brownlee. And a great rebound and bucket there from Brunell, who's able to get his 16th point of the game. Cadeau now working the other way. Brings it inside, kicks it outside to Kaysen. Kaysen contested three is long and gathered by Brunell. He hands it off to Marsh. Marsh now gives it back to Brunell. Brunell, deep three is just long, and Cadeau with the rebound. Cadeau, long pass out to Johnson, who's fouled by Brunell, and Johnson will go to the charity stripe shooting two. The Wolverines leading 86 to 60 with 3:22 left in this second half, and we're going to take a quick break here in Ann Arbor. We're here in Ann Arbor. The Michigan Wolverines lead the USC Trojans 86 to 60 with 3:22 left in this second half. The Wolverines doing nothing new. They have big wins earlier in this season, beating Auburn by 30 and Villanova by 28. They're doing more of the same here tonight, up 26. Just over 3 minutes left. Rez Johnson's been the story of the night. He's at the line now for the Wolverines. Already has 28 tonight. looking to make a couple free throws and make it a 30 ball for the sophomore transfer from Illinois. He's been dominant inside, 10 of 12 on the game. 9 of those buckets coming inside the paint. So his first free throws up and short. Free throws have also been a key part of his scoring tonight. Before that one, he was 7 of 8, moves to 7 and 9. Good free throw shooter on the season. As he gets ready for the second. And it's up and good. Moving him to 29 points on the game. We talked earlier, it looks like Yaxel Lindenberg had some trouble with that left calf. Saw him limping a little bit in the first half. Haven't seen much of him here in the second half as the Wolverines take Johnson out of the game. He'll finish with 29. As Easwar has it for the Trojans at the top of the key. He passes it over to Woods in the wing. Woods working back towards the middle. Has Kaysen on him. He passes it to Easwar. Easwar guarded by Cheddar. Easwar works down to the block. Fights inside against Cheddar. 3 guys on him, and he's blocked by Mara. Rebound. Kaysen layup. No good, but the foul there called on Marsh. And Kaysen will shoot 2 here with 2:57 left in the second half.
Yeah, and one thing that we mentioned while just talking amongst ourselves at halftime is that Michigan maybe hasn't been as adventurous from the 3 as they were last season. They tend to be a lot more forthcoming from beyond the arc out in the second half of games.
No doubt about it. We're seeing more attempts here from the Wolverines in the second half. Kaysen's first free throw is up and good. Wolverines struggling tonight, though. Only 6 of 27 from the three-point stripe. Makes their 88 points on offense even more impressive. As Kaysen settles under his second free throw, which is up and off. Tipped out of bounds there by Cheddar. And USC will grab it. And now the Wolverines bring in a couple of new players for this game. Oscar Goodman, the freshman, is joined out there by number 10, Winters Grady, both freshmen. Goodman comes from Australia, just his first year here in the States. As Woods now working, passes it to the corner, who brings it inside, but a foul on the floor there. Looks like they got Kaysen. That'll be his second foul of the game. And with USC in the double bonus, Gabe Dines goes to the free throw line, shooting 2. Dines, 0 for 1 already on this game, has struggled from the charity stripe so far this season. His first one is long, but it goes up and in. Spoke too soon, hit the back of the rim, went high, and fell. And Wolverines now starting to get into the bulk of this Big Ten schedule now over the next month or two, as the second one falls for Gabe Dines. It'll be interesting to see how their season goes once they really get into every game being a competitive one. Although they haven't struggled against competition so far this year. The pass from McKinney is tipped out of bounds, but will stay with the Wolverines. Kaysen now coming to inbound. The Wolverines, the favorite now for the Big Ten Championship and the National Championship, those seeded second in the country behind the Arizona Wildcats, as Kaysen now has it. Pick and roll with Cheddar. He finds Cheddar after a little bit of an errant pass. Cheddar has it on the left wing. Dribbles forward, gives it back to Kaysen. Another pick there from Cheddar. Pops out for the 3. Cheddar 3 ball is off the rim and out. Little 2-man game there from Cheddar, and Kaysen not able to result in any points as Kofi brings it down. Passes it out now to Woods. Woods swings it over to Marsh, who works in the left corner. Passes it back up to Woods, who drives in, gets to the elbow, then kicks it out to the corner. Shot fake there from Marsh, and the three-pointer is no good. And is tipped out of bounds by Dines. No. Well, there's a little bit of confusion now on the floor. And they'll review this one. They called it off Kaysen on the floor, but they're going to have a second look at this. The Wolverines take a timeout. Michigan will move to 13-0 on the season. And it's quite a turnaround that Dusty May has had in just his second year here with the Wolverines.
You know, we've heard a lot of buzz in the college football world about the work that Prince Ignetti has done to turn around the Indiana Michigan basketball, much more vaunted program than Indiana was in football. But given Dusty May's Indiana connections, it's kind of hard not to see a parallel there. Michigan picking up a program that won all of 8 games in the last season before May's arrival, and last season was one of them looked like a national title contender at times, and this season is one of the 2 outright favorites to win it all. And the Wolverines have already entered, despite being relatively early in the season, the point where the expectation is a berth in the Final Four, and that anything less than a title victory will be disappointing.
Michigan Wolverines fans across the country are hoping that their football team can have the same success turning it around as this basketball team sure has. As speaking of Kurt Cignetti and the IU football team, what a win they had yesterday against the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I know you're an Indiana native. I'm sure it doesn't hurt to see that win.
Always good to see Hoosiers succeeding, unless of course they're playing the Big Blue.
Of course.
The Wolverines huddle up with 1:57 left in this second half. Looking to be another 25-plus point victory. We'll see here in the last couple minutes. Things change. But what the Wolverines have been able to do so far in this early season is quite historic. The #1 team ranked in KenPom rankings, 4th in offensive efficiency, 1st in defensive efficiency. On pace to have quite the season. See some younger guys get on the floor. 4 freshmen out there. You have Kaysen, Goodman, McKinney, and Winter Grady. They're joined by the Michigan veteran, Will Cheddar. Been called by Dusty May the heartbeat kind of this basketball team. See him out there with four freshmen. Makes sense, a little veteran presence. USC matches putting some freshmen on the floor themselves. It looks like they took a peek at it and decided that the ball will stay with the Trojans. Call will stand. And USC, after that early loss to Rodney Rice, their leading scorer with the season-ending shoulder injury, it'll be interesting to see how they're able to bounce back. As the foul there on the floor there by Trey McKinney. Trojans in double bonus will shoot 2. That's tough. Using your losing season is nothing easy to come back from, especially when their leading scorer now, Chad Baker-Mazzara, 4 fouls in that first half. Getting his 4th with just 8 seconds left kind of brought him out of the game in the second half. There was no real chance to mount a comeback as the first free throw there by Williams falls short. Williams, pretty average free throw shooter, making just 2/3 of his attempts as he gets ready for his second. That one is now up and good. Moves this lead to 25 as Kaysen brings it the other way. He works it down to the right side of the floor. Gets it down to Goodman. Goodman brings it inside. Pump fakes, goes up. Shot blocked, but he's able to get his own rebound. Kaysen now has it, passes it to Cheddar. Cheddar kicks it out to the corner for Grady. Grady long. He's a lethal three-point shooter, not able to find the bottom of the net there. Williams now has it for USC. Brings it inside, and he's fouled by Grady. Be 2 shots coming up now for Terrence Williams the second. Just 90 seconds left in this ball game. The Wolverines bring in Malik Cordell, the freshman. Now,
Germany.
The freshman on the floor for the Wolverines. Kind of got some Fab Five reminiscent.
Indeed. And this was
Free throw from Williams. Definitely this Wolverine team. They're really driven by, along with their transfers, not too many returning players on this team, as the second free throw is in and out, and the rebound there from McKinney. Doesn't slow things down at all as he passes it up to Winters Grady. Works inside. The mid-range there from Grady is good. Just about the loudest crowd pop we've heard in this second half as the freshman able to hit the mid-range jumper down on the baseline. Woods now for USC, brings it inside. Passes it back out now. That's El Neal Jr. for 3. That's off the back of the rim and no good. And a foul on the floor here from the Wolverines. Number 32, Malik Cordell, with the foul, and that'll be 2 shots now for the Trojans. It's Dines back to the line. Not a great free throw shooter, but made a couple earlier. Just a minute left in this second half as Dines' first shot hits off the side of the rim and out. Turnovers were a big part of this game. The Wolverines leading the turnover margin 19-11. They've done a great job with that this year. That was a struggle earlier in the season, was turnovers. They've done a nice job led by Elliot Cadeau. He misses the second, but a lane violation will give him another go. Elliot Cadeau has done a great job of taking care of the ball, something the Wolverines have struggled with in these past couple of seasons.
Something that the player who was meant to replace Trey Donaldson, despite his many contributions to Michigan's run last year, also struggled with.
Dines' second will fall. And the lead is now at 26. The Wolverines leading 90-64 with just 60 seconds left in this game. Kaysen now bringing it up the floor. Passes midcourt. Gets to the rack. Spins around. Passes it over to the corner. That's Goodman for 3. That won't find anything and is long. Now Woods for the Trojans, bringing it the other way. He passes it into the corner for Kofi, who bobbles the ball around but grabs it now. Spin move, working back towards the center of the court. Passes it underneath to Neal, who has the ball turned over by Trey McKinney. Goes the other way with a layup there. Nice steal and bucket there from Trey McKinney. That moves him up to 6 points on the night. 8 points now. Woods working inside, passes it underneath, and the bucket by Dines. And that's going to do it here. 92-66, Wolverines lead with 14 seconds left. Full court pressure here from the Trojans. Forces this ball out of bounds. But by all expectations, Wolverines will just dribble it up the floor and let this clock expire. They inbound to McKinney. Double teamed here in the backcourt, and a foul by the Trojans. So 2 shots here for McKinney with 9.7 seconds remaining. Wolverines leading by 26. You hear a boo from this sold-out Chrysler Center. Not so sold out now as fans have started departuring a few minutes ago. But McKinney a couple of free throws away from double digits tonight. He's been a great 3-point presence on the season. Unable to make any tonight, but shooting the lights out from 3 earlier in the year. His first free throw is good. Pushes this lead to 27, something that Michigan fans have gotten all far too familiar with. He settles under his second. Up and good. Pushes this lead up to 28 with just 9 seconds left. A steal there from Kaysen. Kaysen takes it from him. Reverse layup and a bucket. Statement basket there from LJ Kaysen. As time is going to expire, half-court heave is no good. And the Wolverines win this one 96-66. No love lost between these two teams with a late steal and basket from LJ Kaysen. But the Wolverines will move to 13-0, undefeated in Big Ten play. What a win there by Michigan basketball.
You know, it's very rare that it's already January, which is obviously not super deep in the season, but it's still not the first month of it. And the season still has a preseason feel just with the margins of victory. That's the way it is if you're a Michigan fan. These games feel like tune-up games, like exhibition games, and it's January 2nd. I think that's the best way to compound it. This level of dominance is almost becoming boring if you're a Michigan fan.
No doubt about it. They've been dominant all year. The next time we'll see the Wolverines on the floor will be at Penn State Tuesday, January 6th, where they'll look to stay undefeated and move it to 14-0. Well, thank you for listening. This has been WCBN Radio. Go Blue.